Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back ladies and gentlemen for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had an amazing week so far. Today we're going to keep this video short and sweet. We've made 20-minute videos or around about the 20-minute mark videos over the past couple of days, really trying to explain in detail what went on and put things into context. So we're going to keep this one short and sweet. We're going to touch on some very important points moving forwards. We are of course going to look at Cardano on the daily, or this is the 4-hour. We will look at it on the daily, and we're going to kind of tell you what we think is to come moving forwards. We're going to look at Bitcoin, we're going to look at the total money in crypto, and of course we're going to look at the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory, and more importantly we're going to look at 2017 and why we're setting up in a very similar fashion. This theory right here is what has allowed me to make a lot of money, and many people out there have done the same thing in relation to this theory. But where I want to start, guys, is with this article. And this article reads, Buying the Dip. The third largest Bitcoin wallet just bought 23 million worth of Bitcoin. He bought this, yes, or he or she, nobody, or it could be a collective of people. Nobody knows who the identity attached to this wallet is, but this is the third largest holder of Bitcoin in the world, actually took advantage of this dip and bought. So somebody that's been in this space for a while, I'm not talking about myself here, I'm talking about whoever owns this wallet, actually took this as an opportunity to accumulate. Meanwhile, there was a lot of retail guys, and I'm still part of there with you, you know, we're on this journey together, that sold their coins, and this guy, man, woman, person, whatever, took the opportunity to buy those up. So this is really what's going on. This is why I stress the importance of hodling. It's a kind of it's a phrase coined by the crypto space, but it really is how you win in this space. There is a technological revolution going on. The one prior to this was the internet. The one prior to that was computers. You are now a part of something far bigger than just short-term price fluctuations. There is a movement going on, and blockchain technology is at the helm of it. Satoshi started this in 2008. One of the first responses to Satoshi was that this was just not a scalable technology in relation to Bitcoin for what he was trying to achieve, a global payment system. And this is why we have things like ETHEREUM, who aren't yet scalable but are planning to become so. And we have things like Cardano, and we've moved away from Bitcoin, but the underlying technology, which is blockchain, is consistent throughout. We just have different consensus mechanisms. So Bitcoin proof of work, most are moving towards proof of stake because it is just that much scalable and more energy efficient. So there's something a lot bigger going on here, and this is why I really wanted to reiterate this to you. The article reads, one of the largest Bitcoin whales seems to have taken advantage of the latest crypto market turmoil by buying the dip. The third largest Bitcoin wallet has been busy buying the dip during the current market downturn. The whale entity added almost 500 BTC to its stash. I think that's more actually than the El Salvador government owned. So that just puts things into perspective. El Salvador, I think they're around about the 400-500 mark. They're in about 400-500 Bitcoin. Nowhere near what Michael Saylor earns or owns. Just to really put that whole deal in context, it is very significant that a country has adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, but in the geopolitical scale of things, El Salvador is a very small country, and really the relevance of this all is just that, you know, a country has accepted Bitcoin, not the amount that they're buying or anything like that, just the kind of dominoes that have been set in motion to fall as a result of this. The mysterious third largest Bitcoin whale bought 490 BTC when it was exchanging hands at around $46,800 in transactions with a face value of 23 million. So where are we today? So I think he bought this yesterday. So he bought this right around here, guys. And this is the guy that literally has the third largest amount of Bitcoin in his wallet. It really goes to show, and I mean, you're not that far off it today. And if he's doing that, well, it may, you know, there may be a kind of clue within that. Whale Alert reported that it took place on September the 8th at 5 minutes past midnight GMT, and the coins were moved from the US-based crypto exchange Coinbase. As of a press time, the whale still holds 4,000 more BTC than at at the all-time high of 65,000, bringing it to a net worth of 5 billion. So this is a significant whale, and $5 billion, and if he wanted to sell all that, I mean, he could cause a lot of damage to the market. So I just thought this was an important article to bring up. You know, the people in the know, the people that have been here for a long time, have just really seen this as a buying opportunity, and I have taken advantage of this myself, and I believe many of you have. And you can see just the amount of, this is Cardano, of course, but the amount of Bitcoin that was bought up. If you look at these wicks, there was quite a strong buying pressure that came in here to kind of cause this kind of a fashion of a wick. So what's next for the crypto space? Well, if we look at the market as a whole, you know, and this is the daily time frame, you are now above and holding above your 20 EMA. Very, very common trait. You had your bullish cross here. The last time you had one of these guys was all the way down here. And ultimately, you know, it is a lagging indicator, but I do think we do have more continuation within this bull market. This bull market is looking very, very similar and has done for nearly 4 years now to the previous cycle. And this is 2017, just to really put things in context. And this is what we had in 2017, guys. This is September. This is your kind of September sell-off that everyone was talking about. And what this really allowed was for the kind of parabolic end to the year to be ushered in, and I'm expecting a similar thing today, guys, for this year. And let's take a look at 2013, which is the prior kind of parabola year that we had. This is your September sell-off here, guys. Flush out, and then you see continuation off the back of it, and that's kind of what we're expecting today, ladies and gents. So everything looks fine to me in relation to Cardano. I think what you do now do is you, very, very common trait, when you sell off below this, you will often come back up to your EMA and bump your head. And you'll keep kind of testing it before you come up, you come back, and it acts as support before we see continuation. I don't quite think you're just going to do, and I could be wrong, guys, and it would be great for all of us, I don't think you're just going to do this and come straight back up and keep going. Cardano as a project has never, we touched on it in yesterday's video, being in such a strong position. You know, smart contracts are 3 days away now. This is the most significant upgrade that Cardano has had to date, and is in actual fact is going to make Cardano an even more sought after crypto, because in order to use the smart contract capabilities, the dApps, the DeFi on Cardano, much the same as if you want to interact with Ethereum, you need Ethereum essentially, or if you want to interact with DeFi and Ethereum, you need the underlying token to do that, just to send it back and forth, etc., etc. So I don't think, and I'll show you plenty, can you see this? See plenty of examples where you come below. If you look at where your candle ended here, guys, this is just a recent example. I can show you one. You see your candle end, you get rejected, you come up, you retest, and then we see continuation. And that's what I think you're going to see, guys. I don't think this is going to be quite a, you know, a kind of V-shaped recovery and we're straight after the moon. I think we may loll about for a week or so, making kind of marginally higher highs before we really see that continuation. I mean, this is another perfect example of, you know, once you kind of sell off below these EMAs. You see this, you sell off, you come back, look where your candle closes, then you retake it before coming down to retest, and then that's when you see continuation off the back of it. And that's what I'm expecting, guys, when I'm looking right now. And ultimately, for me, this is just an accumulation period. You know, plenty of examples of this. If you look at how we sell off here, just showing you that this is quite a common trait. You can see you come recapitulate before you then see continuation off the back end of it. And this schematic that we overlaid for you, this our Elliott wave theory that we have for Cardano, is exactly what I think is playing out today, guys. And within this, you know, you are essentially, in regards to your Elliott wave theory, perhaps just finished your 2-leg, going into your 3-leg within your 5th wave. So Elliott wave theory works in 5 waves. Ultimately, I think you've just had your 2 waves. So within your Elliott wave theory, so you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have your A, B, C correction. And this is how these waves work. You're essentially just here, guys. Or here is a better example where I've took this schematic from, and you can see that's very, you know, they're playing out in a very, very similar way. And this is why we didn't expect a sell-off as severe as this. We should have, in hindsight, there was some warning signs that I'll very quickly talk to you about for those of you who care to know. We had this pattern play out, which is a horizontal or an ascending triangle. Ascending comes from you've got the horizontal resistance, but you've got the ascending support. These usually break to the upside, and it did indeed do that. But this should have been a real bear flag, or not a bear flag, but a red flag, if you will, because once you sold off below this, you actually failed this horizontal line of support or ascending line of support, and you came and then you failed to kind of come back and retake it. And that should have been a bit of a precursor. But this is all a learning game, guys. You know, these markets are ever changing, and we can only kind of go with the data that we've got. So this is where I think you are very much, you know, you're here essentially. Can you see this? You have these big wicks and this kind of volatility before you set up for more continuation after getting very, very overextended from your EMA, which is a common trait. Every time you get overextended from your EMA, guys, you will revisit it in some form or fashion. So things are looking good. Ultimately, I think the bull run is in for more continuation. I think Cardano is in for more continuation. We're going to bring out a video. We bought a number of altcoins during this dip and are going to continue to do so. I would prefer it if we had a bit of a longer drawn out recovery. It's kind of like this. This is a really good analogy for it. It's kind of like, you know, you run a hot bath and you dip your toes in. You get burnt and you pull your foot straight, or if you've got any sense, you pull your foot straight out. The next time you go to put your toe back in, you'll do it with a little bit of caution. Remember that these markets are driven by human beings, and you know, there are emotions at play here. And people, after a kind of burning like this, will be a little bit more hesitant to get back in. And the people that don't are the whales that have been here for a long period of time and understand what they're looking at and see these dips. And if you look at Bitcoin's history, I mean, dips are just really for buying, guys. It's pretty apparent when you look at you know, the kind of linear history of Bitcoin. It's just one big buying opportunity essentially, because we're in a technological revolution. So that's really all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Hopefully that wasn't too long. We're setting up in a similar way to 2017. I think we're in for a bit of a, you know, it's not just going to be plain sailing. We'll probably come up, retake this before we then see the continuation. We have this kind of a cross again. And we're off to the races, guys. But ultimately, the main message is huddle, hang in there, like the Bitcoin whale, the third largest Bitcoin wallet in the world. You know, this for me, and this isn't financial advice, was a fantastic buying opportunity. And we're going to be bringing out a number of altcoins that we bought within this dip. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Hopefully you've all had a fantastic Thursday, and I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Thanks, guys.